Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Inside Artesian Football here on WREP 15 Sports and the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined as always by Artesian head coach Carter Whitson. We stopped doing Under the Helmet last week. It works. The Artesians get a thrilling last-second come-from-behind victory over Perry Meridian. Did you ever think we'd be talking about hitting a winning field goal at the beginning of the year here to get a victory as you did on Friday night?
You know, with our kicking, woes and what we've gone through in the growing phase of those special teams, it was always our plan to continue to get them better by the time playoffs got here. We knew we got some new guys in there. We were doing some different things. So we knew we were going to keep getting better. I don't know if I could have predicted that one. With early in the season, we're thinking we're going to be rolling, and Perry's still rebuilding a little bit, and that's not the case Friday night. They played really well. They played really hard, and we put our trust in our kicker, and he scored us 7 points in the evening. So it was big time for Jackson Fry and Craig Wesner with the hold and Trevor Mosgrip with the snap. Just a great way to end the game. Never seen that before on my side of it. So been beat by a field goal, but never kicked a last-second field goal. So it was fun.
Was able to get that last-second field goal that came after a great drive engineered by your offense. Your offense had been dinged up. The players have been dinged up across the team, but able to come together. Were resilient there at the end and saw things happen in a good way for you guys to even get in position to have a chance to win it.
Yeah, it was. And that last drive, I think it was like 18 plays or something like that, and it was really good for us. It was great to see Tyrus step into that last-minute drive. He played the whole game, but to be able to do that when you don't get a ton of reps as the backup quarterback was impressive. We kill the clock. We get easy completions. We complete fourth downs. It was a great drive for us, and it worked out that we took all the clock away from them and didn't give them the ball back.
This was a game that really kind of was a roller coaster of emotion. You guys had some momentum at sometimes. They had some momentum sometimes. It would seem like you would get momentum or give it away, get it back, give it away again. And then at the end, when it looked like maybe you weren't going to have any chance to come back, they'd gone ahead with 6 minutes or so left. They get the ball and they score basically 2 scores. You guys are able to engineer drives and get done what you needed to, got the defensive stop when you needed to as well, and then get that final drive. It
was a game of up and downs, turnovers, too many. But the good thing about the turnovers is that our defense created a bunch. And offensively, we need to take care of the ball a little bit better. But when the defense gets those takeaways and gets those sudden changes, that really helps us out. So, with the turnovers, and there's about 4 or 5 plays in a row that was just mass chaos. I know me and Coach Henniger would both just go erase those and play it without that stuff. So, but, it's high school football. There's going to be times where there's a little bit of chaos when you're trusting a bunch of 17-year-olds. So kids responded well. The ups and downs were there, but they're going to be there every game. So kids responded like we want them to.
Great to get the victory with the Jackson Fry field goal at the end of the game. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and there are a lot of them on the offensive side of the ball and defense as well. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, good to see our defense back out there making some plays. Adam Field right there forcing a fumble, and Bo Hess recovering it. There's excitement when that happens. They're flying around. Adam Field played a great game, and Bo Hess has really stepped up into those linebacker spots and played well. Here's Tyrus on the first drive. We wanted to get him some good, easy throws just to get that momentum going and for him to get comfortable hitting Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox coming back off of a little bit of an injury. That was great to have him back there. We had some other guys play some tailback too, and then here we go. Tyrus throwing it 1 yard downfield, and we're scoring from 18 out or something. Wide receivers doing their job, getting the ball to our weapons as quick as possible. Little drop back right here. Tyrus doesn't just have to throw it quick. He's got a very talented arm, and the wide receivers are doing a good job helping him out. and the O-line's protecting well. Little trickeration right here from him. Larry Bland with the interception. We thought he almost had another one later on in the game. Larry stepped up over the past few weeks and continued to play better. There's Bo Hess fighting. You know, that tailback was a really, really good football player. We talked about him last week, but Bo Hess, you know, gets one hand on him and fights for his life to hold on and get a good tackle for loss. Then here we go again, 4th and 11. Defense does a good job of understanding where the chains are and making them throw it underneath and go rally and tackle. So they do a good job right there. Quick little hitch right there to Andy Myers. You know, Andy's catching it on 4th down right there, but also getting another 10 yards. So that's always good to see. We don't just need to go right at the chains. Little play action shot to Craig Wesner. Craig Wesner was probably our player of the game, a senior that scored his first career touchdown. A guy that just played really, really hard and made some big-time, tough, competitive plays. It was awesome to see from Craig Wesner, and we expect that from him because he's the kind of kid that does everything right. Here's a little play-action shot. We end up throwing the slant to Andy Myers. Great shot by Tyrus. Great competitive catch and getting in the end zone. Get a little extra penalty there, which helps us out on the kickoffs, but good competitive slant throw right there. And there you go. That's what we've talked about all year. When you see 6 white shirts tackling the guy, that's our defense. It's not one-on-one. It's helping each other out, not really caring who gets the credit, but a lot of guys there rallying around the ball to make plays. Again, that quarterback, I mean, he's the tailback right there playing some quarterback there, finding every way to get him the ball, and I would have too. He's a really good player and had a great game. Back to Craig Wesner, you can see Matt Thomas taking the guy all the way to the water cooler up top. Our wide receivers continue to fight and block for each other whenever the ball's in somebody else's hands. So it's good to see that out of Matt and Andy. There's Chase Mabry. Chase Mabry comes in as a sophomore and starts to get some important reps. And it's good to see that out of him. Big-time competitive catch. And then there's Ty Cox again. Ty Cox had a great game. Talk about Craig Wesner and Ty Cox of guys that just stepped up and played incredibly well. Again, Craig right there. Super competitive catch. Tyrus gives him a chance. And then we come back with a screen. And this one was pretty easy. Or it should have been a little easier if we just finished one block, but Andy makes it a great play at the end. It could have been a walk-in, but again, we're working on some things and we're continuing to get better, and you can see that right there. Here we go. I think this is another forced fumble right here. Yep, this is the last fumble of the game, or that we get, I think. But again, it's good to see. That's 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. It's awesome to see our defense do that stuff. There's a little speed option right here that Ty makes a play. You can see Matt Thomas with his guy on the ground again up top. Matt's continuing to play really hard. Even when he's not getting the ball in his hands, he's been a really good blocking wide receiver out there. Another shot right there after a handful of penalties, which we had way too many. We needed to get some of that down and distance back, and we did right there on a 2nd and really long. Gets us to 3rd and manageable, and a little speed option right there, and I thought Ty was going to score. Just got to throw his head up and keep on his feet and go finish that right there. And then here we go, a little kind of a play-action bubble. Look at Andy Myers and his defensive back that was on the ground. Again, that's what those guys are coached to do, and they did it really well Friday night. Here we go. This was I think that might have been a 4th down right there. That was a 4th and 7 late in the game. We're down 2 points, 4th and 7, and we get the first down on a big-time shot. Here's Craig Wesner again, getting more than just catching the ball where it was, making somebody miss, going up and down the field. This right here was a really, really important play for us. Andy Myers had a good job, had a good night in returning kicks. Thought he was going to go all the way with this one. That was a huge play for us to get the ball back. Again, right after they scored to make it a 2-possession game, we get that, and it gives us a chance to score quick, which we do, and then get the ball back after our defense gets a stop. So a good shot right there to Craig Wesner. Again, Tyrus threw the ball really well, threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in his first career start. That's the wide receivers and the O-line and the running backs getting that done. Not just Tyrus, but he's very capable of that. We knew that. Back to defense, huge stop right here. You look at the clock and we're still down, but to get a stop on that drive right there really won the game. And then we go on a long drive right here. After a punt return, we get the ball back. We start throwing it quick. We get a little formation into the boundary, and really worked him with this stuff, just trying to get the ball out of our quarterback's hand so he doesn't take any hits. This was a really fun drive. It was a fun one to call. Had a lot of help from the other offensive coaches on calling the plays and what they saw in the booth. So really encouraging to be able to have this clutch drive. 4th and 4 screen right here to Andy Myers. That play's been good for us. He got absolutely rocked right there by their tailback, but he gets right back up and ready to play again. Tough kid. Screen to Matt Thomas. There's Matt playing a little tight end. He's very flexible with what he can do. He can play outside receiver. He can play some tight end. And then right here is a great shot to Matt Thomas on the. It was kind of a bubble and go. Thought we were going to get him in the end zone. You see the clock right there. There's Matt's dinged up. The referees didn't know what to do, but we get a chance to spike the ball and kick a last-second field goal, and that was awesome to see from Jackson Fry, and kids were going crazy and coming out there. They didn't know what to do. You see some of our linebackers out there hurting, celebrating. I go over there and try and break them up and go shake Perry Meridian's hands because those kids played really hard,
right.
and that's what Friday Night Football is about.
It was a great celebration. It's funny you mentioned the officials didn't know what was going on as we cut to our traditional underneath the goalpost signal.
Give us something.
And it's like nothing. And we're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it good?
Give us something.
It was good, and we cut back to it. But that was awesome to get that celebration. I didn't include Tyrus getting up to the line of scrimmage after
Huge
Matt
play.
got hit. And gets up really quick, and you guys are looking on whether you're making a decision whether to go for it or not. You're out of timeouts.
Yep.
He gets it quickly, spikes the ball. The play clock actually stops it in time on the clock, gives you some time, and then Jackson able to put it through. Boy, what a great way to end the game.
Awesome deal for him. Again, he's a junior that's getting better each week at kicking. Ethan Hanline's been doing really well on our kickoffs. Had our first touchback and should have probably recovered 2 more onside kicks if we just do our job a little bit better. So those guys are stepping up. Those guys are playing well. Matt Thomas is punting it extremely well. It's not something that we want to do a bunch, but when we do, Matt's doing a really good job, and we're covering really well on that too. So, yeah, that last drive was awesome. We thought we could punch it in, running some inside zone at them, but they completely loaded the box. So, we trusted Jackson. He was 4 for 4 on the night on extra points, and excited to see him finish it that way.
Great way to cap off the night in the victory in Mid-State Conference play over the Perry Meridian Falcons. Now you've got a big battle for the M game coming up, a county rivalry matchup on Friday night at the John R. Wooden Gym. Won't be in the John R. Wooden Gym. It'll be out on Ciderwoods Field, another one of the legendary coaches here around Martinsville. But great matchup. Coach Gillen's going to bring his team to town to battle you guys. It'll be senior night as well, but a lot of things going in against a very good Mooresville Ball Club on Friday.
Yeah, it is, and we talk about it each week. It's week 8. We're trying to get one more game better. We want to win every one. We want to go 1-0 each week. But, when it is a rivalry game, when it's somebody that's close, our kids all know each other. They're all probably Snapchat friends and stuff like that. There's a little bit more, eye on that one looking forward. So yeah, we want to get our M back. They're really good. They're massive, playing really well. Kind of slipped up last week against Whiteland, but you guys, everybody knows Whiteland, who they are and what they can do and give you fits. So not a surprise that Whiteland comes and gets some big time good wins right there, beating Mooresville at their place. But yeah, they'll come down. They'll be ready to go. It's senior night, but really for us, it's about getting 1 week better. And then we'll find out on Sunday night what our sectional draw is, and it could easily be Mooresville again week 10. So, that's kind of an interesting deal for us this year because somebody in our sectional we're playing late in the year. So playing them week 8 and week 10 is a possibility, but we're going to go try and win both of them.
Trying to win the big game on Friday night against Mooresville. When you start talking about this Mooresville ball club and you think about Coach Gillen's ball club, he's been around for a long time at Decatur, at Indian Creek. A lot of people think the first thing that comes to their mind is a team that likes to throw a lot. They throw it, but they also like to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, they're, look at them up front. They're 285, 260, 245, 250, and 285. They can swallow you up pretty good up front. So those guys are nice to have on the team. We don't have a whole lot of those, so we got to fight hard. But yeah, they're going to throw it enough. They're not much of an air raid, spread it out throw. They throw it where you're not. He does a great job calling plays and understanding what the defense is going to give him. to set up as even bigger plays. They're a great screen team. Got a really good slot receiver that is extremely fast. So, they've got some good weapons. They're a really good football team, and if we can play well, if we can do our job, create some turnovers, we're a really good football team too.
When you look at his team offensively, what kind of formations and things will the fans see them line up in on Friday night?
Yeah, they'll, most of the time they're going to have at least one tight end in the game. He plays right off the ball, kind of like an H-back or almost a fullback. He can get in the I formation. And they're running a lot of dive or inside zone at you. They'll hit us with some counter and some power with the guards pulling and tailbacks misdirection. And then, their passing game is bubbles, it's quick outs, it's sprint outs. And then they're going to try and hit some shots and double moves and always setting up their screen game, which they're really good at because those O-linemen not only are big, they're fast and athletic. They get out in the open field blocking corners, and they like doing that.
When you look at the flip side of the football, what are we going to see out of them on the defense on Friday night?
Yeah, their base defense is a 4-4 cover 3, just like us. You will see them drop back into 2 safeties a little more than we do, especially if you look at us last year. They played 2 high safeties a bunch versus us last year. It's a little bit better of a pass defense, and we're obviously a passing team. So I think we'll see that, but you'll see 4 down linemen, either 4 linebackers or 3 linebackers, and then their secondary guys are guys that play on offense too. So we're going to try and get after them with some tempo and do what we do.
What are some of the things you guys are going to have to do to try to come away with a victory on senior night on Friday?
You look at the 3 games we've won, and we won the turnover battle. You hear me talk about it every week, and it's probably boring. People stop watching the show whenever we get to this question, but it's a fact. When we win the turnover battle, we win the game. So we got to get it from them. They're really good offensively. They're gonna have some momentum. They're gonna do some things well. We got to find and manufacture some stops, and then on offense, we need to score a bunch of points.
What's the plan for you guys, fall break wise, for the kids? It's fall break for us coming up. Actually, last day will be on Friday, then you'll have a week off. You're going to know what your draw is. It'll be a little bit of an odd week in preparation for Plainfield. You go on the road to wrap up the regular season. How are you guys going to approach that week of practice?
Yeah, I tell my kids every year, if you want a fall break, don't play football because we got to practice. We got to get ready to go. We'll practice in the mornings to give them some free time in the afternoons, but it'll be a normal week for us. The timing might be a little bit different. Playing on having a game on a day where you don't have school is a little bit odd, but we'll do some different stuff with them. Wake them up, give them an extra walkthrough, feed them some brunch, let them go home and relax for a little bit, and then bring them back for our team meeting and team meal, and then hit the road to go to Plainfield. So a little bit different of a week, but it's just a football week for us. We're going to practice on Monday like normal Mondays, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and get ready to play on Friday.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll see you there Friday night.
Thanks.
Artesian head coach Carter Whitson here inside Artesian football. You heard us talk about it. We'll have fall break next week, so we won't be here to be able to produce inside Artesian football, but we'll be back the following week, take a look at highlights from Mooresville and Plainfield, talk about the sectional draw as well. As always, I'd like to thank the head coach for coming in. For Carter Whitson, along with Zane Spangler, who produced it, I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Artesian football.